guys, welcome back to Gretchen's Bakery. Yes, I have exciting news. Petit fours are finally here. I know it took me a long time to get around to refilming this recipe for you all, but as you know, it is worth the wait. Pretty much the biggest deal about Petit fours is the icing. If you don't have the right kind of icing to use, your whole project is going to be a flop. First of all, we're going to prepare the icing, and basically that is a very large amount of confectioner's sugar. I have some Merkin's white chocolate here, and you guys can absolutely use the Wilton candy melts in place of that, and if you don't have either of those, you can use white chocolate as well. I do have some corn syrup, and that's going to have to be heated up, and I do have a bunch of different extracts. Of course, I'm not going to be adding all of them into the recipe, but I did want to show you that you can really use any extract flavoring that you want. You could use lemon, you could use peppermint, you could use butter flavor if you wanted. Really, any kind of flavor can go into this icing that you like. We have all of the sifted confectioner's sugar. I'm going to add to that the warm corn syrup. Now just get that mixing on low. And I'm going to add in my extracts at the same time. A little bit of almond and a bit of vanilla. I'm also going to add in all of the melted white chocolate, and I'm slowly going to pour in just about a half a cup of this warm water. Just keep drizzling it in until you get to the consistency that you want. Give it a real good whip on high speed. Now, I always do like to go on the thicker side first because I always can add a little bit of warm water to thin it out as needed once I start working with it. Now I have my white cake that I'm using today, and I'm going to be filling my Petit fours with vanilla buttercream. These Petit four cakes are meant to be small. They're little bite size, no more than 2 bites per little cake. So as you see here, I have a 12 by 18 inch sheet pan. Now any cake recipe that yields 2 8-inch layers, pour all the batter into a 12 by 18 inch half sheet pan, and you'll have a perfect layer for Petit fours. So this is a half sheet cake size here, and we're going to cut this in half so that I then have 2 quarter sheet sizes. So you just don't want to overfill at this point because number one, it's just going to be too much filling, and number two, well, it's really just number one. It's just going to be too much filling. Now into the freezer we go with these. We have to make sure that this is frozen pretty solid so that it's easier to work with. We're going to have to cut these into squares, and if this is not a frozen piece of cake, we're going to have a big crummy mess. The number 8 tip that's found in your Gretchen's Bakery Essentials tip, along with your pastry bag and the coupler, is the perfect tool to ice these Petit fours. And then secure it closed with a clothespin so that when I go to pour in my icing, it's not all pouring out the tip. Now I really know why I hesitated to show Petit Fours until now. This is a huge project. Now, not to intimidate you from actually taking it on, but just know that this is not really like an easy 1, 2, 3 thing. There are a lot of steps. My kitchen looks like a bomb exploded in there. And so you just have to really be patient with Petit Fours. So the last thing that we're going to do is put some little rosebud, buttercream rosebuds on each one. And I have been using pretty much everything that comes in the Gretchen's Bakery Essentials kit. So if you guys want to check that out, this is the number 104 Atico tip to make our rose petals. And then we will use the leaf tip that comes in that kit as well. All right, guys, so there we have it. We finally tackled the Petit Fours. So just keep in mind that whatever cake you decide to use, whatever filling that you decide to use for your Petit Fours, you just don't really want to put these into the refrigerator. Refrigerators tend to be on the humid side, and this fondant icing does not like humidity. And I'm learning that here in Florida. I was struggling with these today. So for all you guys wondering how Florida is treating me, it's been just fine until now. So I really had to finagle and do some really quick in and out of the fridge work with these to make sure that they weren't flopping and falling over. Just make sure that once you get the icing on, you don't really want to get them into the refrigerator unless you do a test one first. Let it sit in there overnight. If your refrigerator doesn't melt the icing, then you're good to go. Some refrigerators, though, are on the very humid side, and you might have a dripping mess after you've done so much work on your Petit Fours. So as always, guys, thanks for watching Gretchen's Bakery. Get all the best recipes at gretchensbakery.com, and I will see you soon.
Yeah.